I mean, you already had me sold once you mentioned Brad Pitt and George Clooney were in it, but you could have added anything else to the film. Wolves is a new film on Apple TV, starring about 18% of the Ocean's 11 cast, but about 80% of the star power. Yeah, George Clooney is a fixer who has to fix things for people. He does fixing. He arrives in a hotel room, there's a dead person, there's a woman who's all confused and scared, and he's going to fix it up and clean things up for her. And he's the only one of his kind who can do this kind of thing, except Brad Pitt's also here and does the exact same thing. And don't get me wrong, I feel like just the fact that they've been both working in the same area doing the same thing all this time and didn't know each other existed either makes both of them very good or very bad at their jobs. So there's a dead dude with some drugs in a bag, and these two have to work together to clean it up, even though, get this, they don't like each other. Oh, what a goof! And that's the entire premise of the film. They've just got to get the drugs back. And then the guy isn't dead. And Austin Abrams, I gotta say, he's there the whole time with them, which I didn't expect. I expected he would just leave or get wiped out at some point. He doesn't. He's there for the entire film. And he makes for a really good third. I thought it was a buddy cop, just the two of them, but he was there the entire time and he was great. It is weird to me how this started out as this quiet, kooky, weird little thing, and then it just kind of stayed that. I am so confused. Really not a lot happens in this film. And that could be okay, you know, and Clooney and Pitt, a lot of charisma between them. They bounce off each other well. They bounce off Abrams well. It works fine. But I expected this at some point to evolve into a slightly more action-y film. It doesn't. It's not. It's barely a comedy either. It's just kind of quirky, but not really like ever laugh out loud funny. I don't expect every buddy cop film to be like Ryan Reynolds and Any Warm Body, being really crazy over the top, loads of action, loads of laugh out loud comedy, woohoo moments. But if you're trying to do like a kind of deconstruction of the genre or strip it back, you gotta like do other stuff. you can't just take stuff away from the normal ones and then be like, ta-da! It has a couple of genuine laugh out loud moments, but honestly it felt like a horror film that starts off with a couple of big jump scares and then just kind of simmers along and does nothing else. You would feel betrayed by that as a premise if you saw that happening after what you'd felt like you were getting early on. And from everything I've seen in promotional material for this, I expected it to be a lot more than just two guys in their 50s, both of them, bickering. Yeah, that's pretty much just it. And, you know, it's not bad, but given the star power and the fact the script's not bad and John Watts is directing, I really thought there was just going to be something more to this. It feels like, you know how Netflix original movies are just, they take like a star who doesn't have as much star power as they used to have and they throw them into some bullshit action-y plot that's just not good. And it's really bad. That's the standard Netflix film. But we are evolving now to the point where we've got a standard Apple TV film as well. And they have a bigger star generally in it, or stars in this case, and just kind of meander around without really going where they could or should with plot or writing or anything. It is a shame to feel like they're just pumping out relatively lackluster films. But that's kind of what it is. I don't know what I expected from this. I'd say it did pretty much meet my expectations because I wasn't expecting loads. This feels like if The Nice Guys, which was kind of a slightly stripped back, very amusing buddy cop film, it feels like if that just hadn't worked quite so well. I feel like they might as well have, after the opening half an hour, moved on from this case very quickly to them like deciding to work together or do something else down the road. Focusing the whole film on that, it didn't really do a lot for me. It feels like it could have been like the pilot episode to a new TV show, but just this as a standalone film, it's not that strong. They hold it up, Clooney and Pitt, fairly well, but there's really just not a lot going on here, and that's a shame. So I'm giving Mr. and Mr. Smith 3 stars. Do you think they're just trying to gauge interest in another Ocean's movie? Like seeing if that pair together with just nothing going on will like drag people in, so then they go, okay, now we can make another Ocean's movie, because that's kind of what it felt like. because this didn't justify its existence on its own.